Hello, everyone. Overall, today was a pretty positive session for the stock market as we saw the indexes gap up. The NASDAQ was up 0.81% today. However, unfortunately, from the open to the close, we only moved up 5 points. And we ended up moving all the way up to the 4,300 at one point intraday. Could not hold those highs, came back, and obviously only closed 5 points off the open. Not only that, not only was the overall session weak following the gap up, unfortunately, volume for the bulls was well below average on the NASDAQ and was also well below average on the Russell 2000. And the Russell 2000 also, after gapping up to 1187, was able to rally up to 1196, failed to hold it, closing up only 6 points to 1188. So it only tacked on 1 full point from the open. Once again, not the best of showings. The S&P 500 up 0.96%. It's not like the NASDAQ or the Russell 2000 led today. It was the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So once again, you normally want to see the Russell 2000 and NASDAQ leading in an uptrend. And also not good is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Volume well below average, and as you can see on the New York Stock Exchange, volume lower than the session before and well below average. So not much to look into there. Before we move on to any of the actionable signals, let's go over the sells because, besides having an up day, we actually had 5 partial sells. That might be another hint of the weakness still inherent in this market. USCR closing below the 50-day moving average on above average volume. That's a 25% sell. GWPH has been a speculative marijuana stock, and we're going to look at one that was in play today intraday in our chat room, as alerted from the morning from the action in the pre-market. But GWPH is closing below the 10-day moving average on above average volume again, this time losing its Maxstream BOP, so that's another 25% sell signal. CMGE is closing below the 50-day moving average on above average volume again, this time with heavier red BOP. You could sell off 25%, 33%, or 50%, maybe if you don't have that much more left. However, I wouldn't suggest selling it all because we still have a 46% gain. So we can go ahead and flirt basically with, we don't have to worry about the 200-day moving average. If we get a huge sell-off on well above average value with red BOP, we get out of this whole thing. But the point is we still have a 46% gain, so I'm not going to get rid of all of it with this sell signal alone. Also, MZOR closing below the 50-day moving average. You guys can go ahead and wait till it eclipses a 2351 low. I'm not, even though volume is below average, with us being under a neutral condition. Any stock that shows relative strength weakness to the markets that violates the 20 or 50-day moving average will be a sell for me. So MZOR is a 25% sell. And OCIR, even though it's fine, still consolidating. As you can see here, this is the first time since that long signal that we've had a close below the 20-day moving average. Once again, I don't care that it's below average volume or not. That is a 25% sell signal. So with all those sell signals, we did get some signals on the long side. Cara is another medical marijuana play that deals with opioid receptors. So this one's into play. It's just a signal off the lows here, but a breakout above this downtrending line, and you can see pretty much guess that you can go ahead and take that as a long signal on this stock because this is a very nice stock with some good earnings and sales growth. So definitely keep an eye on that. Also SEV, so electric vehicle. They got some kind of contract with some Chinese electric vehicle makers, so this one might be one to watch for a breakout. It's not good enough for me because it still hasn't even closed above what I would consider 1236 to be an important pivot point, so I'm closed above that. No way I'd touch it. But the volume surge today with the pocket pivot point signal with Maxstream BOP is a good possible go ahead. And then SHLO, Shiloh Industries, another heavy volume move today with BOP increasing. Definitely want to watch that, see if it finishes the right side of the base and breaks out. Also CXP, pocket pivot point signal to new highs, kind of an ascending breakout. If BOP was stronger, I'd be more interested, but just not really interested in a stock like that. That base isn't very long. And then overall, that then is going to leave us with our one new long signal, ASYS. ASYS is a solar related stock. It is producing a pocket pivot point buy signal on above average volume with max green bot for the past few days leading up to today's signal. It looks like it's a pretty good continuation move. We don't risk too much if we are wrong. You can use the first level be 12, and then a subsequent close below 1169 you could use as a final cut loss, or if you're really um, risk averse and you don't mind whatsoever, you can go ahead and use 1130. But a pretty solid overall technical pattern in the solar industry, which does appear that it isn't quite ready to roll over yet. I saw that First Solar got a pocket pivot point on above average volume today, so that, you know, could be indicative that they do want to move. And it was also good to see biotech stocks overall put in a decent day today. So right now we just don't know. The market still remains in no man's land. Like I said, a close below the 50-day moving average, our model switches to a sell signal. A breakout to new highs, our model switches to a buy signal. Right now we are very neutral. And still, the one methodology that continues to be the smartest methodology to play is these small cap stocks intraday. PHOT, we were alerted to it early. It broke out early and ran. If you got it around 62.5 cents, you got a good little run all the way up to almost 70 cents, where it based again and then broke out right above the 70-cent mark. Subsequently rallied to 75 cents, pulled back to resistance at 70 cents, and from there on, end of the day at 77 cents. But this was a stock that showed up in my scans pre-market. And then also, hold on, that's not something I want to show up. Okay, and then the other one intraday, YOD. After this initial move here at 10 o'clock, it showed up, and with this daily chart, it obviously was a beautiful technical pattern to me. Could tell it was breaking out once it got clearly breaking out once it got above the 575 area. And you can see that after that initial move, we can see that it tried to do another move, and this is when it was fully alerted. And our chat room also picked it up. A breakout above the downtrend line was your first signal. Confirmation of that breakout is above 571. And that breakout right there helped let you know that it wanted to go past, obviously, the 564 high of day here. And you knew that with the volume, you're going to probably get past 575. I was hoping I could get a pretty strong end of day close to go long the stock at the end of the day, but with it being up 29% in one day, I obviously could not do that. And as you can see here, after the intraday breakout signal at 571, this thing ran all the way up into the close to 670, and then after hours has tacked on even more up to 696. So all in all, a pretty good 35% plus showing in one single day for this stock. So that remains where the big money is to be made. It's in these little stocks that want to move. And for instance, like SEV, you might think that was a good one because I was talking about it. But if you look here, you can clearly see by the way it trades, that would not be a good one to watch intraday for a breakout. You're going to want to see stocks that trade like PHOT and YOD, ones that have a lot of trades and shares exchange per day.